So this is how to begin your technical drawing assignment using only the information packet that you downloaded. What you're looking at right now is the demo, which shows you how it should be laid out. If you look carefully, you can see that these three views are representations of the three visible sides of the isometric views. You've got the top view that shows this plane and this plane here. You've got the side view, which shows this face of the isometric view, and you've got the front view, which shows this face of the isometric view. If you measure it, you can see that it is drawn to scale, so that means this is actually 2 inches, and the dimensions indicate that this is 2 inches. This height here is actually 1 inch, as the dimensions indicate, and so on. So if we're looking down from the top, we see that the whole thing should be 1 inch wide, as given by the dimensions, and we see that the whole thing should be 2 inches long, as also given by the dimensions. You don't have to worry about the height from the top view because you can't see the sides when you're looking down from the top. So it's helpful to imagine that this is actually a 3D object that you're looking at. I'm looking around right now to see if I have any similarly shaped 3D objects. I guess we could use this eraser as an example. If I hold it like this, you can see that the front, side, and top are all visible. And that is how this looks when you're looking at the isometric. As I said, the top view is 2 inches long by 1 inch wide. 1 inch, 2 inches. If you drop lines straight down from there, you can see that the side view lines up in terms of where the front and back are. So this corner, or this edge right here, would be this edge. And that lines up with this corner of the top view. And the same is true for the back, and the same is true for the middle. Then if you come around to the front view, you can see that the ruler causes it to all line up. So it's very plain to see that everything is the same height. And I didn't even have to measure the height again. The width here is consistent with the width here. And so your front view, your side view, and your top view all line up nicely. Take a look at how the text is written. All caps, very neat. If you have downloaded the technical drawing packet and you're able to print it out and work straight off of that, you can go straight to the level 1 exercise. Of course, the first thing you're going to do is write your name here, your class, and the date. But I also want to show you how to do this if you do not have a printer, because that will make it so that everybody can do this assignment with the same tools. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a blank piece of paper. I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to lift the camera a little bit so that we can see both pieces of paper at the same time. And I am going to simply create a border around the outside of my page, because that is going to give me something to work off of. I'm using a straight edge ruler. I'm going to create a border that is exactly, let's say, a ½ inch in from every single side. So there's a ½ inch right there, and here's a ½ inch here.
I'm going to create a border a ½ inch in from here, and a ½ inch in from here. Let's go ahead and do the top. ½ inch, ½ inch, and the left hand side, ½ inch, ½ inch. We're going to go ahead and connect those nice and neatly. You don't have to create super heavy lines. This is mainly to give yourself something to work off of that is not the edge of the paper. It's going to be easier to do it this way.
We're going to leave some space at the top, maybe another ½ inch. We're going to connect that. And whenever we go in to write any text, what we want to do is give ourselves a nice neat baseline which is not right on top of the other line. We're going to move up from that a little bit, draw the line very lightly, and then come up and do another one. Make sure that it's parallel to the other edge. And we can go ahead and write our name. There's Mr. Z. Class, 7th grade, major and core. Date is 3/23. And this is level 1. When you're making a technical drawing, it's really important to be absolutely clear in your text. So it's helpful to practice. Practice, practice, practice. Now that you've gotten that, what we want to do is take a look at our isometric view. We're seeing an object that is 2 inches long, 1 inch wide, and 1 inch high. So that's pretty straightforward. The first thing I want to do is line up my ruler in what would be the top view quadrant. So you notice this is divided into quadrants. The top view quadrant is here. That's the upper left hand side. I'm going to just kind of divide the whole thing into quadrants. So I'm going to make a little mark by the number 5 there. I'm going to come down, do it again by the number 5 here. I'm going to line my ruler up with both of them. With the 0 right here, I'm going to make a light line. I see it's 7, so I'm going to come down to 3.5 to divide that into 2. And then I can kind of eyeball this one going across. Now I've divided my paper into quadrants. Here I want to start looking again. My top view is going to be this surface right here, which is going to be 2 inches wide, 1 inch high, and I'm not going to see this height. So I can come in here. I'm going to I'm going to draw a light line. I'm going to stop at 2 inches, and I'm going to make another mark at 0. That is the length of my top side. I'm going to come up, and I'm going to make sure that my ruler is parallel to the vertical here. And I'm going to actually draw a line that goes from the 2 inch mark, because my 3 is on the baseline, so 2 gives me my 1 inch width, but I'm going to actually come down all the way, almost to the bottom of the drawing. See that? That way my drawings are going to be lined up. I'm going to do the same thing here, and actually I can use this down here to line them up. So I'll come down here and say I want this to be 2 inches. I'm using my ruler so that it's parallel to the edge of my page. I'm using every single edge that I know is at a right angle to make sure that all my edges are parallel. I'm going to come up here and draw a light line. And I'm going to start with the 3 here. There's a 2, so I get 1 inch width. I'm going to draw this line to connect them. And now I have the rectangle that describes the top view. That top view, I'm going to go in and do with slightly heavier lines now that it's ready. Now I can look at the side view. The side view is 2 inches wide by 1 inch high, which is given here in the dimensions. So I've got my 2 inches. I'm going to actually go back to this line, and I'm going to bring it all the way across my drawing so that I have the baseline for the front view as well. That way, again, all my drawings are lining up nicely. I'm going to go ahead and use 1 inch here. That's where the top is. 1 inch here. That's where the top is there. I've got some nice heavy lines. I'm going to connect them, And again, bring that line straight across because it's going to serve as the top of my front view, which is 1 inch wide. 1 inch there. Bring it up. 1 inch. 1 inch. And 1 inch. And just like that, I have the top, side, and front views of my level 1 technical drawing. This is helping me to understand what this object looks like when viewed from the top down, from the side, and head on. Okay, so that's basically how you complete a level 1 drawing without being able to print the technical drawing packet. If you were able to print this out, you would complete all the drawings in the sectors that are already given, and you would fill in the text up here yourself. It didn't take me a lot of time. It's going to take you a little bit of practice, but as you do more of these, it's going to get faster and faster, especially if you have a ruler. And again, if you don't have a ruler, look at the video for how to create one. That's all for now. Please let me know if you have any questions.